Morning Glory with Barry Upton and friends.
Come on, get up, get out, and get moving. Come on, get up, get out, and let's do it. Come on, get up, get out, and start grooving. Moving around to the sound of music.
I tell you what, I've had a complaint. Somebody emailed me and said that they don't like all the bells. Just hit the bell again. What's wrong with that? It's a nice sound, isn't it?
I love the sound.
I think the bells and the whistles, we're too loud.
Oh.
I think what he's saying is in the morning we're too loud. But that's the whole point of the morning show, isn't it? Get you up and get moving. Anyway, one complaint. He actually was saying some very nice things. He just said, I'm not sure about the bells and the whistles though. So we have to stop whistling and stop belling. Right?
when did we whistling? We never whistled.
I think what he means is we've got to stop sounding so jolly in the mornings, you know? And I'm not fixing them. That's what we do, isn't it? Anyway, welcome to Morning Glory on Paddy People Television as well. And all our viewers. We've got Dan Cheeseman on today, so that means that we tried to make him more interesting by not having him on last week. That didn't work. It was no more interesting.
We had to get him to ring the bell.
So we've got him come back. We'll get him to ring the bell. That'll make him very interesting. Plus he's bringing in some guests as well. Yes. Dr. Roberts from the university and a couple of students are going to be here.
All right.
So it's going to be a very interesting program with Dan Cheeseman and his propertycondominium.com and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And we're going to kick off with Free, and it's all right now. Come on, let's rock out. Hit that bell. Come on, let's get loud.
Inside News, detailing the stories behind the headlines. Inside News.
Oh, have we got some news for you today? First of all, scandal in the Thai Parliament.
Yes, they tried to vote the first female Prime Minister out for no confidence. Because on the last House Representative meeting, she missed the meeting and then she showed up in the Four Seasons Hotel in Bangkok talking to one big businessman or investor.
So she was doing private stuff in the private sector?
That's what they say.
And she wasn't looking after Thailand's needs. That's what they're saying.
Well,
we know what they say. We've talked about they before, haven't we?
Right.
And they are scandal mongers.
Right. But
so
she said,
balance things up a little.
Yeah, but she said she just like talk to him to try to find the best way to get help from the private sector.
Yeah.
But however, still like the talk of the town right now. And yesterday, one of the government side, one representative from the government side tried to take the media reporters to the Four Seasons Hotel, but they just got stopped and blocked and not allowed to go up to search the room or inspect the room.
Well,
so they tried to make it clear.
What were they saying? We're thinking of staying here. We just would like to look at a room.
They said you have to open.
We want to look at that particular room.
Yeah, but you have to pay 20,000 baht first for a day. Then it's only allowed 2 people to stay in there.
See, people like a scandal, don't they? You know, I'll tell you, I've got a bit of scandal here. Remember the president of the International Monetary Fund, Strauss-Kahn, who was prosecuted in New York, and then he was set free. You know, he was supposed to have raped a hotel worker.
He's supposed to rape.
Yeah. Well, he's now arrested by French police and faces criminal charges relating to an illegal prostitute racket.
Oh.
The former International Monetary Fund chief, he was told by detectives that there is evidence linking him to complicity in pimping and misuse of corporate assets. I know. It's looking bad for him.
The first kid wasn't having enough ground, but he was the ground in there, right?
Yeah. He is admitted to attending sex parties in lots of cities around the world.
Right.
And denies knowing that the women he slept with were prostitutes. Now he faces criminal charges if prosecutors can prove that fraudulently obtained money was being paid to the prostitutes, and that Strauss-Kahn knew about this.
Oh.
And he's claimed he did not know he was sleeping with prostitutes because the women were all naked at the time. This is an intelligent guy. He's the head of the International Monetary Fund.
What did he say again?
He said he did not know he was sleeping with prostitutes because they were all naked at the time. They never had a hat with prostitute on it or any identification. You know? Amazing.
I hope his excuse works in court.
Yeah. But the unorthodox defense comes amid allegations his mobile phone records showed he had relationships with at least 10 call girls.
Oh, wow.
It's not looking good for him. It's not looking good for Ryan Giggs. Well, I mean, okay. It's never looked good for Ryan Giggs.
No.
We were first to out him on this programme when there was a silence and you weren't allowed to. There was a court injunction.
Right.
We actually found out, and on Morning Glory we were one of the first to actually announce.
Who dare talk about it?
We just mentioned Ryan Giggs all the time, didn't we?
Yeah.
We didn't actually say it was him. We just kept talking about Ryan Giggs.
Oh, now you say it.
Yeah. But now he's finally given up all rights to anonymity. That's about 9 months later.
So everybody can talk about him now?
We can talk about him officially, all right?
Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Giggs. There you go. He's a naughty boy.
Right to talk about him. Ryan Giggs, a naughty boy.
That's not bad. Now, my favourite story of the day is this one, a hospital in Sweden.
Yeah.
Right, they're advertising for nurses for the summer.
All right.
Okay. So Sweden's sexiest nurses are being targeted.
Oh, really?
Right. Bosses at Stockholm's South General Hospital, they say on an internet advert they're looking for a TV series hot staff to work during the summer holidays. You know?
Just for the nurse?
Yeah.
For nursing work?
Well, this is it. So
what is that supposed to mean?
So what they're saying is if you've got a nurse's education, that's great, but you're welcome to seek a summer job if you're looking good. And you know.
Oh, right. Business.
But actually, what he was doing, he was just being a bit provocative and making the campaign stand out.
Right.
He managed to do that. He said, we wanted to stick it out a bit. We think people understand it was written to catch people's attention.
Right.
But when you think about it, have you ever been down to Bangkok Patio Hospital?
Yeah.
They've got a lot of sexy staff down there, sexy nurses down there, haven't they? You were a sexy nurse at one time, weren't you?
What do you mean I were?
Well, you was a nurse.
Yes, I was a nurse.
You see how you
After the word sexy, I was a nurse.
There you go. But I thought you might have been a sexy nurse.
I am too sexy. You see, the woman and the man always see and hear the different points.
And there you go. You saw it there straight away. Right, Dan Cheeseman's coming up. Let's see how interesting we can make him today, or he can make himself. That'd be good, wouldn't it? How are we going to make you interesting today, then?
It gets annoying a little bit, because everyone says to me, oh, Barry, you picked on your husband, let's forget about it.
Oh, you know, we have a laugh. The thing is, I know you're going to be very interesting today, because you're bringing in some guests later on, Dr. Robert.
Well, very often when you're out and about in town, and in this case, the guy is from just outside Patty, you meet interesting people and find out things that perhaps we should all be knowing about, but we don't. Dr. Robert's going to talk about what's happening in 2015 and the free market zone, and how Thailand needs to wake up to how this could impact on everything in terms of the work permit situation for lower level, not just us guys that have to sort of go and do our administration.
Okay, well,
very interesting.
That's good. We'll have a chat to him a bit later on about this, and I understand he's going to bring a couple of students in as well. Right now, you're here to talk about condominiums as usual.
Condominium. I think that's why you say it's interesting, because every week, you have the guys that get on their bikes and travel around Thailand and...
Actually, it can't be that disinteresting, because we have you on every week, don't we? Actually, you weren't here last week, and I'll tell you what, it was very interesting.
It was very last week, just by default, me not being there.
Yeah, exactly.
An empty chair and lots of mute silence.
No, we managed to fill it very easy.
Well, I think we get by. The fact we do talk about condominiums, and maybe some people are sitting there listening thinking, well, actually, I'm not interested in this, it's all over here. We still manage to make it interesting because there's so much going on.
Well, now, we're just coming up to this is the last week of the first season of Morning Glory. We're going to come back in May, bigger and even stronger.
Why about new DJs?
Thanks, very good. I knew you'd say that. But over this first season, you've been here right the way through it, haven't you, really?
Yeah, when I heard we were coming to the series, it was kind of sad, but then I realised, well, no, actually, it's a chance just to have a break, everyone, regroup, think about what we do going forward. So I sat there over the last couple of days thinking, what have we discussed and what's happened in town, mostly around condos, because that's the interesting subject I like to talk about. And I thought it would just be the perfect encapsulation for what's happened so far.
Okay.
Now, during this time, Matrix, one of the key developers in town, has won the best developer in Asia. So I think that was a good tick in the box for the patio market.
Yeah.
We've seen the floods coming into the Bangkok area, which proved, however much it was tragic, it actually gave Pattaya a chance to showcase itself, because people that never would have come into town saw it. And that was good for business, and we saw a peaking condo interest.
Wow.
So I'm hoping the legacy of, like I say, through tragedy of the floods, we'll see something good for Pattaya. We've also seen two new developers really cement their position in the market. The first is the Tulip Group, a guy called Kobe that used to be in partnership with Ronnie at the Nova. Now, he's doing many of his projects now with the Centauro, so there's that really grandeur status.